Hey everybody, Mike here. This morning I wanted to film a little practice session. So for today's practice session, I'm going to be doing Pinon Form 5, which is one of our katas, okay? Actually, the 10 to 12-year-olds and the teens and the adults are working on that kata for the next couple of months. We're going to be practicing Pinon Form 5, as well as other katas for the teens and the adults, but Pinon Form 5 is going to be our main focus for all the students to do it better and to practice it over and over again. I'm not going to go at full speed. I'm gonna do the kata nice and slow to warm up. I haven't done a warm up yet. I haven't worked out yet today, so I'm going to use this kata as my workout. Okay, so I'm going to do it slowly, and then over time I'll build up to it. I might do it facing different directions. You might see me as I'm doing it do a movement, not like the way the kata feels or how my balance feels during that movement, and you might see me start over. Okay, I'm just gonna work the kata over and over again. The idea with practicing kata is it's not about memorization of the movements, right? To be a black belt, I always tell my students, you have to move like a black belt. You have to feel like a black belt. You have to feel balanced and strong, right? We could take all of the movements in our kata out of the kata and use them for self-defense. Different types of self-defense, different types of grabs. There's throws in kata. There's joint locks in kata. Okay, there's a whole bunch of different things in our kata that techniques that we could use for self-defense. But if I'm practicing the solo kata and I'm not balanced during that practice and I feel like I'm falling off balance when I'm doing the kata, whether I'm doing it slow, medium speed, or full speed, if I'm not balanced and I don't feel balanced, I should go back to the beginning and practice that kata. Maybe just practice those two moves that I feel off balanced on over and over and over again, so that way I start to feel balanced. So I wanted to give you an idea this morning on how to practice the kata, and the best way to do that is not for me to speak about how to practice, but for me to show you one of my practice sessions and the way I would practice a kata. I'm not practicing the kata to make the kata look good. I'm not practicing it for tournament to make it look pretty and look nice and sharp, but if a kata is done well with strength and balance and good posture and good stances with proper technique, that kata should look pleasing to the eyes. It should look nice, right? It's only when the kata is done at full speed and full power, but you don't have balance, you don't have good posture, you're not doing your stances correctly, that's when the kata starts not to look good. So I'm not doing this to make the kata look pretty. I'm doing this so, God forbid, somebody grabbed me or somebody attacked me, and I go to do something to them, and as I'm trying to defend myself, I fall off balance. That's not going to be good, right? So the kata, we practice it solo, right? You get strong at the kata solo, then you learn what the moves do, right? You learn the techniques, and we call it bunkai, the applications of the techniques. Then we practice those bunkai or self-defense, which we haven't been able to do because of COVID, with a partner, okay? So we're practicing the techniques with the partner, and then eventually we practice those techniques with resistance. So that means my partner's going to do something to me, I'm going to try to do a self-defense technique to them, and they're not going to let me do it, and they're going to counter what I'm doing, and I have to try to counter that, okay? And that's how we should be sparring with our kata. So the kata should be the main practice of our martial arts in our style, right? You practice the kata, you practice the principles and the techniques in the kata, okay? Then you get a partner and you practice with your partner how to do those techniques with no resistance yet. Just practice the techniques, learn the techniques, so when you're working together you don't get hurt, and then practice them with resistance, live practice, real practice, against real attacks, not the old karate thrust punch, right? Real strong attacks. All right, so I'm going to step back now, and I'm going to start to slowly walk through my kata, and then as I get more and more warmed up and feel stronger, I'm going to try to move a little bit stronger, and then you might see me face different directions and practice it to try to confuse my mind a little bit and see if I remember the kata going in different directions, because we can't always practice in north, south, east, west face. You shouldn't be at home going, which way do I practice when I'm in the dojo? Should I turn this way? We should practice in all directions. We should practice out in public. We should practice these katas all over the place. But I'm going to start with just Pinon Form 5, since that's the one we're concentrating on with our older students this month. Okay, so I hope this video helps you. Okay. Os, Pinon Form 5. Aya! Aya! Os. Os. PM from 5. Aya! 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 Os. Os. PM from 5. Aya! 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 Os. Os. PM from 5. Aya! So I'm going back to the beginning where I feel a little bit off balance. I'm working on those over and over again. As you start to get out of breath and get a little fatigued, you might start to feel off balance, so it's okay to slow it down, and then when you catch your breath, go a little harder again. Push. Pinon from 5. Hiya! 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 Push. Push. Pinon from 5. Hiya! Hiya! Push. Push. Pinon from 5. Even a little bit slower now. You can go real slow. Work the stances and do it in almost slow motion. Push. Again, Pinon from 5. Push. Hiya! 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 Push. Huh. So, practice sessions don't have to be excessively long. I think maybe I did 10 minutes of that kata, going back and forth between a little bit faster speed, a little bit slower speed. Showed you how if I felt off balance, it might not have looked off balance, but If I felt off balance at the beginning, doing the mid block and the short punch, to go back and work on my stances and my balance and putting power. You saw me do it in slow motion, so it doesn't matter what kind of conditioning you're in. That's why karate is such a great workout. You could be in great shape or you could be in horrible shape and you could still do it. I could still do that kata if I was in horrible shape. Slowly, right? And softly, almost like Tai Chi, slow and soft, and still do the movements and get a good workout. Or if I'm in better shape, I could do the kata a little bit more explosively and crank the kata out a little bit more, all right? And get a little sweat going and get a little out of breath, okay? And then I can slow down again and do the kata a little bit slower so that way I can start to catch my breath and feel a little bit better. And even as I'm talking to you, right, and I can feel my heart rate slowing down again, and I can feel that I'm catching my breath, even though I'm trying to talk to the camera to give you guys some of these tips to make the kata stronger, to make the kata feel more balanced. And another pointer there is you don't always have to work out in your gi, okay? I'm wearing sweatpants or jogging pants and a tank top today because the gi is great to work out in, and I love working out in my gi because when I do the kata strong like that and I do it hard like that, you feel that gi snap, right? You feel that if you're wearing a heavyweight gi, you feel that gi snap. You feel the power behind your movements. And then when you put this on, you don't feel that same power, all right? You don't feel that snap in the gi. You feel it in your body when you're moving, but not as much as the gi. So the gi kind of helps you feel nice and strong. But there's no reason, you're not going to be attacked when you're in your gi. So there's no reason why we can't practice outside of our uniform and even in clothes that might not be as comfortable to do karate in, because you're not going to be attacked usually when you're in the gi. So if you're out in public in jeans and a tank top, you need to know how to do your movements with those clothes on. So that's why I chose today not to put on the gi and to just work out in a pair of jogging pants and a tank top, okay? So that way you could see what those moves look like without even a gi on, okay? Again, some of the kata was done slow and softly, some of it was done hard and strong, and that was just a quick, I talked for the first 5 minutes of the video, and I'm talking for like the last 5 minutes, but that was maybe a quick 9 to 10 minute workout. I got a nice little sweat going. I got my heart rate up a little bit. I breathed a little bit heavy during that whole thing. I feel great. I feel warmed up, ready to go, okay? Could do it a couple of more times, but for video purposes, I'll stop there. Also, you could do your kata, and if you wanted to make the kata really hard on you, which I didn't want to do today because I worked out pretty heavy yesterday, but if you wanted to make the kata really hard on you, in between each kata, you can get down and do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, do some crunches, do some leg lifts, do some shoulder taps, you know, planks. You could really turn that into a hardcore workout by doing a kata, doing some push-ups. So all of a sudden your body starts to fill up with some lactic acid, and now you're trying to crank out those movements. It's not going to be as easy. But think about it this way. Somebody starts to attack you. If you get tired, you're in trouble, right? So the stronger you are and the better physical conditioning you get into by practicing your martial arts, the better chances you're going to have when somebody attacks you. And again, remember, this doesn't replace live practice and doing the moves with a partner and learning how to actually use the techniques. This is just more of the getting a good workout, learning the kata, making sure when I do the solo kata by myself that I'm balanced and I'm able to do it, not just slow, not just middle speed, but I'm kind of able to do it with all my power and still remain balanced and not fall off balance. And there might be some times in that kata where you'll see it on the video where I'm off balance, okay? I know I felt it. You might not see it if you're not trained in martial arts. You might not see the parts where I felt a little bit off balanced. I'm sure black belts who are high ranking will be able to see that, okay? But that's the way I like to practice. Break the kata down, do it a couple of times, do it slow, do it fast, crank it out, and get a nice workout with it. I hope this video helps all of our students. I hope anybody else watching, if you're a martial artist, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and have a great day.